Happy day, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank God I'm doing pretty good. Today, we're diving into none other than the League of Legends Rift. God willing. Alright, so we're gonna dive into some mayhem. Let's conquer this, guys. So this is I know I did like 1-2 streams League. That was like a little bit while ago. I didn't get to consistently stream, so we're gonna start over, guys. So this marks our first installment in the series, guys. So I am a League of Legends noob. I've only done 2 matches of quick play, 2 or 3 matches of quick play as a jungler. So you know what? I'll just give it a little bit of a quick intro. So you know, lately, guys, I've been playing a lot of VALORANT. I really enjoy VALORANT. It's been the game of the moment. But I was looking at some other competitive games, and of course, Riot has League of Legends, right? So every time I'd go on Twitch, I would always see like VALORANT like on the top, and I'd also see League. And whenever I saw League, I'd always think, wow, such a nerdy game. Actually, I think the music is a little loud. I'm sorry, let me turn it down. Hold on. Alright, so what was it saying? I always thought it was a geeky game, like sheesh, man. Like whoever plays League must be like a geek. I don't know. That's like my perspective from the outside. I didn't even see gameplay. Whenever I thought of League, I just thought of like geeks or something. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just think like it's a very like nerdy game. Like compared to Valorant. But anyways, it just piqued my interest because it might be like a little bit demanding to play Valorant all day. And maybe it might nice to add some variety to it, become a more well-rounded gamer, right? And figured, let me just look into the League. I watched some videos on it, watched some tutorials, and I'm actually really intrigued by it. It's really fun. My understanding, of course, it's like a more macro-based strategy game. Yeah, it's more macro-based. I think it's more mental, macro-based than mechanics-based. I was watching a coach. He's a very good coach, League of Legends coach. His name is Jerry JG. Jerry JG or Jerry JP. I have to look it up. Hold on, let me look it up so I can show you guys. Hold on. Jerry JP JG. Lol. No. Where I'm subscribed to him. Where's Jerry? Jerry. Can't see him right now. Oh my gosh, we have to go to launch later. There's Perry. I'm sorry.
Well, actually,
I said Perry. My bad. Don't tell him when I said that. It's Perry JG. So he's very good. He was saying, but he believes you can climb. By the way, he's a pro player. He's gone against the #1 League of Legends player in a match and still won. So his word is very credible. So it says you can make it up to rank challenger in LoL without like having the best mechanics, like really having outstanding mechanics. So anyways, that's why I think, you know, LoL is definitely more macro-based than mechanics-based. Like Valorant, sure, you have game sense and mechanics probably go 50-50, you know? You need both, no? Here, it's more macro than mechanics. I like the idea we're using our mind a little more rather than mechanics-based. And yeah, I do have a geeky side to me, so I figured, you know, like, I was looking at champions and the items, the runes, and I don't know, I don't know about you guys, but like looking into this stuff, like really specific things in the game, I don't know, like, it sounds kind of weird, but I have some sort of interest in like geeking, like you can like geek out on things. Sounds a little weird. Like learning lineups in Valorant is actually pretty fun. It's such like a nerdy thing or geeky thing to do. That's what that's what like really like piques my interest in Valorant a little more. The lineups thing. So yeah, I like the idea of being able to geek out on another game, but like be a bigger geek. So why not? Well, it seems pretty good. What else? Yeah, so let me guys just give you a quick run through. Alright. I know this is sort of like, I'm not playing right now, it's just sort of an introduction, but maybe it's just like a little fun to add an intro. Hold on. Let me see. I just want to think how I want to express it. Okay. Guys, when I first started out, I opened League. Oh my gosh, I was so overwhelmed by the menu. Like, there's so many things, like, I didn't know what I was looking at. League, like, I was going through all the menus. I felt so overwhelmed, so lost. And I actually looked up a video. There's actually a YouTube video, 45 minutes long, about just exploring the League of Legends menu. It was actually pretty helpful. It's pretty good. I watched it. Of course, on double speed. I don't want to watch it. Instead of 45 minutes, it became like 22 and a half minutes. I hopped in the game. Anyways, I looked up like LOL guides on YouTube, like, you know, what are different roles, what to do. Jungler, top lane, mid lane, and support. You know, I learned mid lane and jungler are the two most influential roles. Anyway, mid lane, yeah, and jungler. According to a really good LOL player, Tyler1, he says support is probably the easiest one to play. By the way, this is, I don't know if you guys know what Tyler1, but he's got a rank challenge, the highest rank in the league on all ranks. That's top, mid, jungler, and ADC and support. Right? Yeah? 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. Yeah? Yeah, what am I doing? I'm counting wrong when I'm doing this. I mean, from the outside, when I'm used to Valorant, I don't know, I didn't realize they're like, when I started watching this guy, it's like I started getting so confused and so like, they're like, I didn't say this, I felt so lost. Like, I didn't realize how deep this game is. Like, when I watch gameplay, it doesn't look so deep, but when you come to items, runes, champion abilities, the amount of champions, it's so cool. Wow, that's such a nerdy thing to say. Sorry guys, like, I just want to give you like a big introduction what it feels to be a noob hopping to this game. What else? Yeah, so yeah. Alright, so what's my goal here? I'm trying to explain like how it came across to come across LOL. Also another thing, why did I choose playing League? It's another competitive game. By the way, I'm actually like, I'm a really competitive person. Dude, I love competitive games. Like, after playing Valorant, before even playing Valorant, before streaming, I was playing like Elden Ring, Cuphead, single player games. But dude, no game scratches like the video game itch than competitive games for me. Dude, I love competitive games. Maybe we can do single player games at a later time, but dude, competitive games are where it's at for me right now. So I don't know. I have this competitiveness. Like, I want to get good at Valorant, but at the same time, like, I don't want to limit myself. Of course, if we had more time, like, I'd probably do Valorant, League of Legends, Dota 2. Wait, is it Dota 2? Is it Dota or Dota 2? I don't know. Dota, whatever, and Counter-Strike 2. That's what I meant. Counter-Strike 2 and Dota. I would, Dota is like the mirror is League's competitor coming from the company Valve. Counter-Strike 2, of course, is from Valve 2. I love Counter-Strike's style, by the way, and the Counter-Strike is another topic. We'll save it for later. Maybe, I know this is really long term, but God willing, after some time, hopefully we'll rank up Valorant and League. Excuse me. We can swap to Dota and CS. That's like a backup thing. You know, if we, God willing, you know, we reach the highest of heights in Valorant League, we can move on to Dota and CS too. Yeah, so that's why I chose League. And anyways, what's my experience been? So I started thinking, you know, which role I want to choose. I like a challenge. And I just picked jungling, even though it's like, it's like substantially important role. I don't know which role is more substantial, jungler or mid. I'm not one to decide. It may be jungler based on what I learned. Maybe I didn't learn right. I defer to whoever's the League of Legends pro. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the idea of jungling. Like, it's like a challenge. I want a challenge. It's kind of scary, in the sense where I did the training in the game. I went to like a match or two, but I feel so lost. Like, dude, there's so many decisions that you can make as a jungler, especially as a noob. Like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't have a strong sense of like priority or like what's the right call, what's the right play. Like, there's so many things you do at any given moment. That's what it feels like, and I don't. It's kind of I felt kind of overwhelmed, and I kind of meant to stream LOL like sooner, maybe like as of like a few weeks ago. But every time like I would try to do a game, I would open LOL or I would do like a co-op AI practice game, and I just felt so overwhelmed. So like even though I really wanted to stream it, I just felt I didn't want to carry this feeling of overwhelmed into the stream, right? So I didn't. It just gave me like a sense of anxiety. I was thinking like, dude, like I want to stream this, but why is it so anxiety inducing? Um, so between then and now, I watched some guides online, especially from Jerry. Hold on, Jerry. Let me close this. Perry JG. Very, very good coach. No joke. He's the best coaching videos. He has the best coaching videos for junglers. No, there's no comparison. Guys, if you want to jungle, please look this guy up. He's so good. Perry JG. Oh my gosh. What else? I have a better sense of what to do. I'm not 100% clear, by the way. So I ended up also installing this application here, Mobile Analytics. When I looked at videos, like, I think people, they don't, what's the right word, outright support these third-party applications that assist you kind of in the game. I think it's kind of a lazy thing to do. But bro, if you want to win, you don't want to, there's only so many things you can think of any time, right? For example, there's like camp timers, right? Camp responds, I don't remember how long. I know, I should know this number. I should know this. Camps respond every like minute and a half or so. Something like 2 minutes? 2 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. And instead of registering in your mind, okay, I killed this camp at this time. I took this camp this time. Okay, at this time the camp will come back. Maybe I'll write a note in text. Instead of making an extra effort, why not just automate it, right? You only have so much brain power. Why are you gonna waste it on something just gonna be automated? You can focus on the bigger picture. So I don't know why you call it lazy. But yeah, I looked into the rules, and I don't know. Jungling piqued my interest. By the way, it piqued my interest. Second option is mid. We'll have to test the waters out. Either I seem like jungling or mid are very substantial, so I don't know. I just wanted the challenge. Like I just wanted something like challenging. Anyway, we'll try the jungling out. We'll do our best. Mid is a backup option. I still feel that I'm very staunch about jungling. I'm going to persist through any failures, God willing. Anyways, okay, so just to recap, I learned a bit of jungle macroing. I didn't go through all the runes yet. I might want to like sit down sometime and just go through all the runes. So, if any noobs there, any fellow noobs, sorry. Hold on. Collection. Runes. Create new. Okay, so you can create runes here. So, how do you describe it? Maybe like a particular set of abilities you can equip to your champion? After champions, dude, I want to have like a challenge. So, hold on, let me just walk you guys through this. So, let me look up Tinder, for example. Actually, no, that's not exactly what I did, but look. Hold on. Let me see. Champions. Okay. So, after deciding that I want to do jungling, why did I choose jungling over mid? I think jungling, like, I don't know, just to be upfront with you guys probably know, I'm struggling with narcolepsy, which is like, it's like excessive daytime, not just daytime, but excessive, it gives the person, it's a chronic neurological disorder that gives the person excessive fatigue and sleepiness, uncontrollable excessive Uncontrollable sleepiness and fatigue, right? Which, despite despite how much one sleeps, dude. And if I could sleep, I can get it, dude. I can sleep 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. No joke. Regardless of how much I sleep, it doesn't make a difference. I just feel so exhausted. Um, it's just people have described it as being as for a regular person, how you can rate it is being awake for 48 to 72 hours. Guys, if you haven't slept for 2 to 3 days, that's how people in narcolepsy feel. Um, so like, if I can't, I need like a challenge. I need something that's very like stimulating or like demanding of focus and attention so that I can focus. Like playing easy champion, like dude, I don't want an autopilot. I need something that like demands me to really focus, right? So I looked up online what are the hardest champions. I came across Mobile Limitix. I came across the tier list. So I decided I want to jungle instead of mid jungling. It's a little more. Better choose a skin of these. Where is he in here? Is that him? FBX? Not bad. I'll probably choose FBX and the other one. I might consider Lee Sin. I don't know. Maybe we'll think about it. I don't know. When I first looked at it, I was like, nah, but maybe yes. All right, guys. I'm like thinking too much about it. Where am I at? I know I'm like yapping a little, but I want to make this interesting. So where am I at? Yeah, so Shadow Cup champions. Which ones are the hardest? Champions. I went down. Okay, if I liked any of these, I don't like Rengar. Even though he says it's hard, look at his abilities. His abilities don't look hard. I looked them up after seeing which ones are hard, which ones are easy. I looked them up, looked at their abilities. Which ones, even if they say are hard, I still like to look at their abilities to see if they require like a sense of like mechanics, like good mechanics. And for example, I looked up Kindred, and I like Kindred. I thought she was pretty cool. Yeah, but you know what? I might reconsider Lee Sin instead. Actually, I know, fairly indecisive. But my backup was this. I looked up. So the jungles I have is Kindred, you have Master Yi, Echo. Zed so-so, Nunu is so-so. Rumble you can jungle. Nunu, maybe. I have to reconsider. But okay, so this one, and these three I might want to save for top lane. Echo. Yeah, Echo's like a third option. So anyways, guys, after I initially wanted to main Kindred. I thought she was pretty good. I looked at Brand actually. I like Brand. I'm actually liking Brand. I looked him up. Brand is actually pretty cool. And hold on, guys. Please give me one moment. Let me just look at his abilities. Since he looks pretty cool. Okay. After using the ability, his next two basic attacks gain attack speed and return energy. Okay. Decent projects a discordant wave of sound to locate his enemies, dealing physical damage to the first enemy in the counters. Okay, that's pretty cool. Safeguard. Lee Sin rushes to target ally. Shielding himself from damage. If the allies are champ, they are also shielded. After using Safeguard, Lee Sin casts Iron Will. Iron Will, Lee Sin's attempts to allies to start battle. Lee Sin gets Lifesteal and Steal Spell Vamp. What is Spell Vamp? I have to look this up. Hold on, guys. Although Lee Sin does not kick players off the map. Interesting. Hmm. I actually like this. I like Lee Sin. He looks pretty interesting. I think, like, I was looking at champions. I like his abilities. Like, I like that you have like two options or like a sequence of his abilities. Like, I like that his abilities are actually multi-layered. Instead of an easy champion where they're just like single use and not layered, like they're not. Of course, he can combo abilities, but I like that there's actually a deeper relation to Lee Sin's abilities. That's what really attracts me to play the champion. I want something that's challenging. Kindred. I like Kindred. I like Lee Sin. I like Brand. My understanding from our coach here is that we should main one champion. He said you can have two. Well, maybe if we should main a champion, like one trick. He's a proponent of one tricking a champion, so you can just focus on ranking up in game sense. So now at the moment, I'm thinking between the three. I'm thinking between Kindred, Brand, and Lee Sin. I like the three. What do you guys say? Kind of indecisive here. We'll have maybe I haven't looked. I looked at Kindred guides. I like Kindred. I haven't looked at Brand guides nor what's the other one? Sorry, Brand or we were just looking at Lee Sin. We'll look them up later. I think off stream I'll look at a video or two, God willing, of Brand and Lee Sin, and see what it's like. Hold on, guys. Let me look at this too. We got a tier list. JJP, JJG. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
That did get nerfed.
This is tier list here. I might want to look up 1, 2. Maybe I might want to look up other champions later, but I looked up Hecker and Fiddlesticks, Mumu. Is this Mumu? Initially, I was like, maybe I wasn't too trying to. This one, no. We'll have to take a look at the champions later. You know, okay. So, anyways, why did I choose Kindred to main? I chose her because I thought she looks cool. I thought it was pretty cool that she has like a duo wolf. And I like the micromanagement with Kindred. Like you have to kite, so you have to attack, move, attack, move, attack, move. Um, yeah, so it's like requires like deeper attention. So it kind of counteracts like narcolepsy. But anyways, yeah. After talking about this, before the stream I was set on maining Kindred, but and Brand. But now after like trying to explain, my thought process, I'm actually reconsidering it, and I might. After looking at Perry's list again, I looked at it. Even looked at all stream. I didn't have it. I didn't have the idea to actually reconsider maining other two champs. Maybe I'll take a look at the champs again, because now I have a better understanding what it's like to play. So yeah. So for now, off stream, what I should do is look up these champs again, look at their abilities, and really decide on which champs I like, which champs playstyles I like. Kindred. Her playstyle's okay. I think Brand. I have to reconsider actually. Which one do I think requires like more mechanical skill? I think Lee Sin requires more mechanical skill than Kindred now. I remember looking up, guys, which are the hardest champions to learn, and it's like Kindred. Wait, list of course, Lee Sin. Hold on. Lee Sin seems like a pretty. I think his abilities are more layered or more dynamic than Kindred's. Like I'm thinking about it. Yes, Kindred, you attack move. Lee Sin, maybe you attack move. I think you should attack move now on Lee Sin. I'm trying to compare. Like Kindred's abilities, they're pretty straightforward. They're not hard to use. I think Lee Sin is more layered. I think we're gonna lean toward Lee Sin and Brand instead of Kindred. Okay. I just like multi-layered abilities. I need something that just like. I like the depth of champions. We need champions that are like deep. They have deep. They have complexity to it. Echo was okay. You know what? After the stream, I think we'll look at the other champions. I looked at Rengar. I looked at Rengar and Warwick. I'm not so into them. We'll take a look at these junglers later. We'll have to reconsider. Alright, anyways guys, I know it's been like a really long intro, like me just like yapping, like is there anything I wanted else to share? Right, so I've done so quite with the various matches, done some quick plays, I feel lost in jungler. But I actually want to recommend mechanics a little more. By the way, I don't know if this is true, I heard it's recommended actually to play ARAM. I don't know, maybe just to work on champion skills, learn it. Should we do it? Why not, right? Guys, let's get into it. Maybe we'll play ARAM for a bit, see what it's like. Let's get it. By the way, I disabled the sound effects in the menus. I don't know about you guys, but it's like a little bit way overbearing. Maybe we can turn it up just a little bit. Enable sound effects, but we're gonna keep it like at 50, man. It's just so loud for no reason. Something like 40. match. Okay. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Guys, real control ball, okay. I probably should stick behind my teammates. I'm turning off the music here. I have to like really pay attention. Like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. No, bro, I'm just feeding. Like, I honestly don't have no idea what I'm doing. No. Bro. It's probably not the best idea. It's all good, it's all good. Hold on, maybe we have enough to buy something? We don't. Kind of the enemy interference formation. I think we're being a little bit too impatient. Okay, let's try to be a little more methodical maybe. Taking too much damage, too much unnecessary damage. No. Is there a way to refresh my health maybe? If I go here, does it regenerate health? Maybe it does? Maybe yes, maybe no. No. No way, it doesn't regenerate health. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm literally just feeding the team, guys, I'm sorry. Wait. to play a little more defensively, no? Bro, I'm feeding. No. Bro. 0909. What does my W do? Oh my gosh, this is so much damage. What am I being damaged by? Mega Gnar. Oh, he's Gnar. Very cool. What should we do here? No. Bro, I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, my team's good. My team's good. They're pretty G. That's all that matters, man. We got this. We have enough, no? Okay. Oh my gosh. Bro, I don't know what I'm doing.
Enemy rampage. An enemy has been slain. watching. Light on my fingers.
No, we got this. Did they come back of the century? For anti-attacker. What's this? No. Please leave me alone. Oh man. We have Gragas. We have Gragas. It's okay. It's okay. We got this. Guys, I literally feel a little bit overwhelmed, but it's good. It's okay, it's okay. Yeah, no matter, no matter. KW. What? Oh, we surrendered, that's right. Guys, I feel so bad for my teammates, man. Like, this guy threw the game. Oh my gosh. They're probably, like, so good. Dude, they probably think, like, dude, this guy is so bad. Oh my gosh. Hold on, what's this? At least we played a game of ARAM, no? So we get our brand. Why is this loading so long? The game might bug out. It's funny because they actually report a bug here. Looks like it did bug out. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let's look up League of Legends ARAM guide. No, we want something that's like super quick. We don't need
So you started playing ARM seriously, and you're done fooling around, huh? Well,
alright, we'll probably watch the longer guide later, but guys, please let me just let's get close out of League of Legends. It's like bugging out. Okay, so should we working now? Okay. Luckily it says we should get brand now, right? We did our mission. So we get brand. New missions. It should count. Okay, so I think we do get brand. So we go to collection. Loot. Brand. Unlock champion permanent. Yes. Sweet. We get brand. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's just look at this guide real quick. I need to see what it says. Chelsea.
If you want to start winning, then you come to the right place, kid. I will teach you how to be better, how to be more efficient. I will teach you how to win. Now, before we start, I need to put a disclaimer that I do not have a 100% win rate. But let it be known, I have never lost an ARAM game, ever. So rule number 1, always make sure you're picking the right champions for your team. Of course, it's up to luck since it's ARAM, but choosing the best champion for what you're given that will round out your team comp will increase your chances of winning. So ideally, I would say the best team comp would be like 5 engagers. Yeah, a 5 would probably be optimal. But if you can't do that, that's fine. The playstyle can serve you apply for any champ, so no worries if you can't get it. Now, rule number 2, in any ARAM game, you always want to make sure you're picking the right summon spell. Never pick exhaust, because if you pick exhaust, that means you're a little bitch boy. Never pick this. I hate facing this shit. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3, you always want to buy boots first, because by buying boots, that's gonna let you run them pockets even faster. And that's what this is all about, you know? Speed. This is why you should also never forget to use a portal after spawning. A lot of beginners after dying forget to use this. Like, there's a reason why it's there, you dumb. So you gotta be sure to use it, okay? So as you can sort of already see, the strategy is pretty simple. Every time you spawn, you just gotta charge up and start a fight. Because in ARAM, how it works is, you can't actually go back to base and buy items, which means the damage you do early on has significantly more impact than you would think. You just keep fighting, and if you win the fights, great. But if you don't win the fights, then you just keep feeding them so that they're worth more gold, and eventually, because you're able to go back and buy items that they can't, you just win a huge bounty when they die. Don't get me wrong though, sometimes you gotta think before you go in, because there will be times where you know, instead of engaging, you gotta disengage, for example. But the general idea I'm getting at is, in ARAM, you just gotta run it down. Listen, I'm not a mathematician, but I've done the math, and I've calculated that on average, you always win out by doing this. On the screen now is the calculations if you want to try yourself as well, and please let me know if you found a different results, maybe we can fine tune this son of a gun. But if not, you can go ahead and call me the mathematician. Also, be sure to ignore people like this Zaya. This idiot. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. You're actually carrying the team by engaging. Trust me. I gotta tell you, the amount of times I wish my team just went in there. You're doing God's work if you follow this guy. And if you put your trust in me, I will lead you to victory.
Hold on.
We will charge into battle together. Also, just to be clear, we're looking at the bigger picture to win the game, unlike players like Zaya. Actually, I think about it, I think we need to take her out of the picture. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, yep, yeah. Okay, much better. Okay, bitch. Now I do need to warn you, you will.
Okay, maybe some just quick things here. It's probably a little longer. I just want a quick guide, man.
Alright, once this rubble comes down, I'm gonna ambush these guys. Wait a minute. Where the rubble went? Where'd it go? Oh, I see. Well, that's alright. Because even with these 5 tips that I'm gonna show you guys, you'll still be able to have a better experience in ARAM. And you won't end up being
Alright, so let's just watch this.
like this guy.
I think. Wait, hold on. Isn't ARAM like recommended? Let me just ask. For LOL beginners, is it recommended to play ARAM? Oh my gosh, if it loads. To get used to the mechanics. Maybe we'll just do like 2 or 3 more and then we'll do.
So you
Okay,
want
let's
to be
watch
an
this real
ARAM
quick.
god and you don't really know
So
what
for this
to farm
tip,
for?
you might want to be quick. The moment the game starts, you want to get your items and go into the portal. You'd want to be the first one to take control of the brushes. Doing so will give you the high advantage to be able to set up an ambush. With this strat, it'll be really easy to get that juicy first blood. So in ARAM, all healing's reduced by 50%. But all healing's reduced by 50%. You get that juicy first blood. Advantage to be able to set up an ambush. With this strat, it'll be really easy to get that juice to the portal. You'd want to be the first one to take control of the brushes. Doing so will give you the high advantage to be able to set up an ambush. With this strat, it'll be really easy to get that juicy first blood. So in ARAM, all healing's reduced by 50%, but self-healing isn't effective. So when it comes to healers, you might as well go full damage. And in my opinion, it's a lot more fun. Nothing's more scarier than seeing a Sona chase after you with a fire rapid cannon. Which leads me to the third tip. Feel free to experiment. For example, in ARAM, I like to play Caitlyn with full lethality items. And along with that, I like to max my traps first instead of my Q. But just make sure that you experiment with things that make sense. You don't want to end up buying a mana item for a champion that doesn't even use its mana in the first place, you know? One of the biggest features in ARAM are the snowballs. Throwing a snowball towards an enemy lets you teleport to that enemy. But did you also know that it does true damage? So for next time you throw a snowball towards someone, try to do a combo along with other abilities. And lastly, hex gates are one of the most useful things they had added in ARAM. You can travel to your lane a lot faster, but you need to be careful where you end up positioning. Well, you don't want to get there when the enemy team is surrounding the turret. Not only that, but you can also use the enemy's hex tech to make a quick escape. Well, I could have if that minion canceled my animation. But you know what? Just because I like you guys, here's an extra bonus. ARAM only gonna give you champions that you own along with the free rotations. But if you want to increase the chances of getting those champions that you want to play, make sure your champion pool consists of the champions that you want to play in ARAM. Well, hopefully you find some of these tips helpful. And if you have any tips, champion pool consists of the champions that you want to play in ARAM. Well, hopefully but if you want to increase the chances of getting those, you know what? Just because I like you guys, here's an extra bonus. ARAM only gonna give you champions that you own along with the free rotations. But if you want to increase the chances of getting those champions that you want to play, make sure your champion pool consists of the champions that you want to play in ARAM. Well, hopefully you find some of these tips helpful. And if you have any tips,
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. We're gonna move on.
Think your progress is too slow? Say no more. At the end of this video, you will know everything you need to know to farm the title as efficiently as you can. First off, let's talk about Iron God. What is Iron God? A title. Yes, that's right, a title. A title that requires tons of Iron gains in order to achieve. And it's the single title signifying a person has done a lot of farming in this alternate game mode of League of Legends. I'm talking about a hell lot of farming. 30,000 takedowns, a bunch of pentakills, skill shots hit, skill shots dodge, executing to turret before 10 minutes, 54,000 minions slain, and more. I will guide you through your journey. But before we get to the nitty-gritty of this guide, I would like to mention I stream Aram on Twitch as a slug cat. I'm hoping you'd catch me live on there for some fun moments of climbing the Aram leaderboard. And without further ado, let's jump right into the numbers. In order to get Aram God, you need to attain 1,800 points in the Aram Authority Challenge. And to get points for that challenge,
I think he's being way too specific. We just want to watch the... Bro, like, I don't want to troll an Aram. Like, I want to make sure we're good.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ultimate ARAM Guide. My name's Salty, and this is going to be a general guide to help you understand.
Alright, so this should be 8 minutes.
And
Yeah, roughly 8 minutes.
to like have fun and goof off, but regardless of how you're playing, I hope these tips will make you a stronger player. So some of the topics I'm covering in this video are the pregame lobby, item builds, game tempo, team fighting, and some general tips. So let's just get right into it. The pregame lobby is the time you have to select your champion and your loadout. Hey everyone, welcome to the Ultimate ARAM Guide. My name's Salty, and this is going to be a time you have to select your champion and your loadout before you get into the game. There are actually a lot of things you can do in the pregame lobby that will help the performance of your team. The first aspect that you can impact is team composition. Team comp is all about how well your team synergizes and complements each other. Some examples of team comps would be something like all-in die comps. This comp is all about engaging on the enemy team and fighting them head-on. An example would be Malphite, Vi, Zed, Echo, Alistar. These champions are really good at closing the gap on their target and initiating fights. There are also poke compositions, which are focused around throwing attacks from long range to chip away at the enemy's HP until they can get them to a point where they either fully engage on a weak team or simply kill them from far away without engaging. An example would be Lux, Ziggs, Caitlyn, Vel'Koz, Sona. These champions have a lot of tools to throw skill shots at enemies from far away without giving them a chance to retaliate. They're also well-rounded comps. This type of composition is not focused on one playstyle, rather they're filling all the gaps that some team would be something like all-in die comps. This comp is all about engaging on the enemy team and fighting them head-on. An example would be Malphite, Vi, Zed, Echo, Alistar. These champions are really good at closing the gap on their target and initiating fights. There are also poke compositions, which are fill them from far away with enemies from far away instead of solid team, giving them a chance to retaliate. They're also well-rounded comps. This type of composition is not focused on one playstyle, rather they're filling all the gaps that a solid team needs. They usually have some kind of frontline, backline, as well as supportive champions to help the overall team. An example of this would be Ashe, Syndra, Seraphine, Irelia, and Sion. This team comp is well-rounded with a solid frontline, backline, and team support. There's also the wobble combo. This type of comp includes champions that have very strong ultimates that synergize well with each other, such as Orianna, Jarvan IV, Yasuo, Misfortune, and Lulu. These champions have ultimates that are great for affecting multiple enemies, and when used together appropriately, can be devastating to the enemy team. And there's also hyper carry compositions. This composition typically has one hyper carry that can single-handedly ace the enemy team, while every other player tries to keep them alive and support them. An example would be Kog'Maw, Janna, Lulu, Braum, and Lux. Kog'Maw is a scaling AD carry that can melt any target, but is highly vulnerable. Every other champion in this composition is able to keep Kog'Maw alive while he dishes out all the damage. Because of the sheer randomness of ARAM, you won't be able to get the perfect team comp every game, but you can use your rerolls to try and get champions that your current team needs. For example, if your team consists of Xerath, Varus, Malzahar, and Lucian, and you're playing Master E, the rest of your team is a kiting backline, and Master E struggles when he's the only frontline, as he can be focused down easily. You could attempt to reroll for a champion that better fits your team comp, like a protective tank or support, and play a more kite-style team composition. Okay, so the next thing you need to choose in champ select are your runes. Runes are important tools that you need in order to maximize your effectiveness with your champion. Adding on to team composition, think about what role you intend to play with your champion, and select runes according to that role. Examples include, if you're playing an engage tank like a Mumu, maybe you want to take Aftershock for extra sturdiness. Or if you're playing Assassin like Talon, you can take Electrocute for extra burst damage. Sustain bruisers like Aatrox or Jax, you might want to take Conqueror for extra sustain and damage ramp. If you're playing a supportive champion like Soraka, then Summon Aerie or Guardian might be best to help keep your carries alive. Or if you're playing an AD carry like Caitlyn, you can take Lethal Tempo for that extra DPS, or Fleet Footwork if you want sustain and utility. These examples are just general ideas of how to utilize runes based on your intended role.
Guys, I'm sorry, I just want to say...
will depend on that specific champion and the type of role you plan to play.
Normally, I would watch this off stream, but I didn't expect ARAM to be like...
are dependent on your intended role. If you plan to play an engage tank or bruiser, taking Snowball or Flash might be beneficial to help you close the gap on the enemy team. If you're playing a carry, you could opt in for more survivability, like heal, pick are dependent on and the type of role you plan to play. The last thing that you need to choose in champ select are summoner spells. Similar to runes, the summoner spells you pick are dependent on your intended role. If you plan to play an engage tank or bruiser, taking Snowball and Flash might be beneficial to help you close the gap on the enemy team. If you're playing a carry, you could opt in for more survivability, like heal, barrier, cleanse, or exhaust. In a general sense, you should pick summoner spells that will allow you to excel in what your job is during teamfights. The next topic is item builds. Your item build will usually be dependent on the enemy team. You want to focus on items that will allow you to perform your job better. Some examples include, if you're playing AP Xerath and they have a lot of tanks, you might want to opt in for a tank killing item like Liandry's Anguish instead of Luden's Tempest, which is a more classic item on Xerath. If you're playing an AP champion and the enemy team has a lot of burst or AD, buying Zhonya's would help mitigate that damage. Or if you're playing a tank that needs extra engage versus a poke composition, then you might want to buy Turbo Chem Tank to help you with that. In some extreme cases, you may want to build completely differently from your intended role because the alternative build is more beneficial than the classic one. For example, playing on-hit Lulu or on-hit TF if you don't have any sustained tank killing roles or lack attack damage. Building full AP Maokai if the enemy team has no consistent sustain. Even building full tank Rengar if your team needs extra time and disruption on their backline. There's several potential item builds for every champion that I just can't cover in this video, but the idea is to buy items that complement your role in the teamfight. Riot has made it easier for players to select item builds based on the enemy champions, so this can help a lot of beginners out who don't know all the items yet. The more you experiment and learn different item builds, the stronger your build sense will become. Now let's talk about game tempo.
Game tempo is all about keeping track of the state and momentum of a game. Your decisions will have different levels of impact as the game progresses. During the early game, your decisions aren't as impactful because everyone is too weak to close out the game, but making good decisions in the early game will give you small leads that carry over to the late game. And once you're in the late game, a single mistake could cost you the game. One thing you want to understand is dying in ARAM. Because there's no way to recall to buy and restore your HP and mana, you have to die in order to do those things. In the early to mid game, you should die when you feel like you need to spend your gold, or if you're constantly low on health and mana and find yourself not contributing to teamfights properly. Now when you die, it doesn't matter as much in the early game, but in the late game, it matters significantly. Usually after teamfights, if you're unable to end the game and have no HP with no sustain available, you should suicide while the enemy team is dead, or you will cripple your team's next teamfight, which could potentially cost you the game. No HP with no sustain much in the early game, but in the late game, it matters significantly. Usually after teamfights, if you're unable to end the game and have no HP with no sustain available, you should suicide while the enemy team is dead, or you will cripple your team's next teamfight, which could potentially cost you.
How do you do that?
You have to be careful when you want to intentionally die in the late game because death timers are very high. If you die while the entire enemy team is up, they could force a 5v4 fight and end the game. Another thing you want to know is when to fight and when to play passively. There are some key moments where you want to start a fight or stay away from one, and this can be affected by both team compositions. Let's look at some examples of good times and bad times to start a team fight. One of the best moments to start a team fight is when you can engage in a fight where you outnumber the opponent in resources, either in total champions, number of ultimates available, and health and mana. If one or two of the players on the enemy team is dead, or have little to no HP, and your whole team is alive, this would be an ideal moment to break out a fight. This also applies the other way around. Try to avoid fights when you are down in resources. Another great time to fight is if you have the opportunity to engage on a high priority target, like a Fed AD carry. You also have to be wary of tower dives when you are severely outnumbered. A 4-man team can easily dive a single person. Another important resource to keep track of is ultimates. Keep track of key high-impact ultimates on your team before considering engaging in a fight, such as a Mumu ultimate, Kennen ultimate, or Malphite ultimate. This is important for team compositions with very strong ultimates but a weak pre-6. This kind of comp wants to play passively, trying to not die as much as possible until they can hit 6 and out-teamfight the enemy team. Teamfighting is the core of ARAM. It's what it's all about. Knowing how to teamfight all goes back to the idea of knowing what your role is. And remember, this all changes depending on the team compositions of both teams. Your focus might change depending on several factors, such as how strong certain champions are on either team, or the positioning of everyone in the game. It's a crazy dynamic when a teamfight breaks out and everyone is trying to kill each other. Let's take a look at some teamfighting examples and identify key roles in each fight. Here's a game where I was playing Veigar as an AP burst mage. The enemy team had a heavy frontline assassin engage type composition, whereas my team was more backline oriented, but still relatively balanced with Volibear. The general goal for my team this game is to kite out the enemy and kill them before they can get on top of us. The goal for the enemy team was to get onto our key carries and kill them as fast as possible, as our poke is stronger than theirs. We begin the clip by seeing that Alistar engages on Lux. This is a great pick on Lux, but note that Shaco on the enemy team was dead, so this fight was engaged as a 4v5 right off the bat. If you take a look here, you can see Riven is utilizing the bushes to try and get on top of Ezreal, Gangplank, and I. Riven's job as a bruiser is to get on top of our carries and kill them. Alistar's job as an engage tank is to set up for his team. The 3 carries on our team's job is to stay alive and do as much damage as possible, so we run. In the meantime, Volibear's job is a disruptor tank who is on top of their backline Syndra. Kiana is an AD assassin and wants to kill our carries, but opted to assist Syndra with the Volibear. Alistar sets up for his Riven here, but unfortunately for them, I was able to flash and use my CC ability. We knew Riven was the immediate threat and killed her first before Alistar. Volibear also managed to kill Syndra in a 1v2 situation because Syndra was half HP when the fight started. We came out on top of this engage by killing 3 of them and losing 2 of our own team members, although they had an ideal engage on one of our backlines. You can see from this clip it displays examples of what everyone's role was, as well as some key concepts learned about when to engage fights. The first thing I want to emphasize here from what you just saw is bush control. Bush control is very important in ARAM. When you have control over a bush, you gain certain advantages that include keeping the enemy guessing of your position, forcing them to play more carefully. You're able to hide skill shots within the bush, making them less predictable and easier to land. Specific champions can utilize them to engage on unaware targets. Generally, it's a tank's job to face check and control bushes for your team, as they are the least susceptible to being killed quickly. The Riven in this game made perfect use of bush control, as she got many engages on our backline by hiding her presence within them. Here's another example of a team fight. In this game, both teams had relatively balanced team compositions. Our team was more focused on protecting the backline, as our main source of damage was Ashe and myself on Echo. The fight starts off with Poppy engaging on their Set. This isn't the most ideal engage, as Set is a frontline tank. However, because he was so disconnected from his team, they couldn't follow up. I was also providing some disruption in the backline, but back off very soon, as I would be focused down quickly. Next, Poppy goes into the thick of their team, while Nico attempts to get a multiple man ultimate, but fails to land it. At this point, Irelia is trying to get onto our backline as well. My team ends up focusing on Nico, as she is the closest to our Ashe. Next, we put our attention on Irelia, as she is diving into our backline. Our team immediately prioritizes her, as she is the biggest threat to our carry. At this point, they only have 3 players remaining, and we chase them down to clean up. A few things I want to point out this game is that Echo is typically an AP assassin. However, because of our backline-focused team composition, I instead switch between playing a frontline disruptor and backline support. In this fight, you can see examples of me buying time for my team by being in the front line and helping take down their divers. Poppy was also doing this during the team fight. When you're playing ARAM, try to figure out what the win condition is for your team. In this game, because of our composition, our win condition was to take out Nico and Irelia, who are the biggest priority targets due to their dive potential on our Ashe. As you play the game, you'll understand more about what each champion does, their abilities, their cooldowns, and their role. Just try to keep in mind what everyone's role is and how they will interact with you. Sometimes you will need to focus more on specific enemies to maximize your effectiveness. Teamfighting is a highly complex interaction between 10 players with unique abilities, items, and playstyles. Do your best to perform your specific role in the fight. Okay, so now that we've covered the main topics of this video, I'll give you some small tips that's good to keep in mind when you're playing ARAM. Tip number 1 is when you plan on dying because you're 1 HP, instead of just running it down and getting a free kill, try to bait out an enemy flash or a key cooldown. This way, you get to expend a valuable spell from the enemy team before dying.
Okay.
Tip number 2 is, as tempting as it may seem, don't suicide for enemies with 1 HP, as what you're essentially doing is trading your full HP bar for their 1 HP, and it gives them a free reset, evening out the playing field. If you leave them at 1 HP, it will be much harder for them to teamfight because it would essentially be a 4v5 for them. Tip number 3 is, don't use flash to disengage a fight if you have no way of sustaining, as this potential is trading your to expend a valuable spell for the enemy team before dying.
Okay.
Tip number 2 is, as tempting as it may seem, don't suicide for enemies with 1 HP, as what you're essentially doing is trading your full HP bar for their 1 HP, and it gives them a free reset, evening out the playing field.
Okay.
If you leave them at 1 HP, it will be much harder for them to teamfight because it would essentially be a 4v5 for them. Tip number 3 is don't use flash to disengage a fight if you have no way of sustaining, as this puts you in a scenario of being low HP and making it difficult to win the next team fight. Now, I'm not saying this is the same thing as flashing backwards to reposition. If you need to flash away to dodge a key spell so that you can survive and contribute more to the fight, then do so. This is more of a scenario where if you're by yourself and the fight is lost and you just flash away to live. If you can't sustain, then you'll be near useless the next fight. Tip number 4 is help your low health team by letting them lifesteal or vamp off the creep wave if possible. And the final tip is to wait for grievous wounds to expire before getting health relics so you can maximize the HP gain. So to give a quick summary of all the topics we discussed today, increase your team's success by selecting appropriate champions, runes, and summoner spells to synergize with your team composition. Focus on a core item build that will help to perform your role based on the enemy and your own team composition. As the game progresses, die at key moments that won't disrupt your momentum, and pick smart fights based on the resources of each team. Play team fights by being aware of which key enemy roles interact with you directly, and figure out the win condition for your team. This concludes the Ultimate ARAM Guide, and I hope you learned something from this video. I didn't go too deep into every topic, as there's a lot of complexity to League of Legends, but I hope these general concepts and ideas will help you in your future gameplay. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I'll try to give you my best answer. If you're interested, I also make dumb videos of playing League.
Okay, very good. We have a better idea what to do. Okay, so Aaron's a little more simplified then. So it looks like the champions that they're not necessarily random. They're picked up from champions we have and what's in free rotation. So let's see. Maybe we're just getting used to the mechanics here a little bit, no? We're practicing our mechanics. We're practicing our mechanics. Actually, if we go to the tier list here, is there like a tier list for ARAM? We go over here, champions, tier list, ARAM. There's a tier list. Okay, pretty cool. S tier. We don't have any of these. A. There's a lot of champions A. Oh my gosh, 60. Yes? Guys, I'm sorry. My mother's checking on me. She asked me if I want some to eat. Is it okay? Yeah, she just gave me coffee and a brownie. Mother's very sweet, literally. Okay. I don't want to touch the brownie directly. You know what? I feel like put some background music here. Heimerdinger. Which ones do you want to play? Heimerdinger looks fun. Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger brand.